Sqwadcast, episode 38?
Is it 38?
37?
Holy shit, that's a lot of episodes
39?
If it's actually like episode 27, I'm gonna slap
No,
you.
it's not, because the dating episode was 35.
Okay.
That was my benchmark, but I don't remember how much we've done since.
You know what would be great? If you just had a little, like, fucking piece of paper, Tim, that just said the number of Sqwadcasts done thus far.
That would ruin it.
Fair enough.
It's at that point I'm committed.
Fair enough.
Can't do it. Alright, it is me and Ryan. And Peter's here.
So, Peter?
Making a cameo on a audio podcast. No Anchovio, he broke his streak. This is the end of the streak. This is the WrestleMania 30. Brock Lesnar beating Undertaker. This is the 21-1.
Oh my god.
Actually, it's like 6-1. But Anchovio did commit. This wasn't like hey Ryan, let's do it without him and ruin his streak. He
was like, I'll do it, and then slept until late in the night. I was like, nah,
it was,
I can't for several hours. No, we were like, nah, fuck that, because I'm more important. Thank you, Tim.
Hey, you're an original. You're an OG squad member. We are one of 2 remaining OG squad members. Out of the original 3. I think we did like 3 or 4 episodes where it was just the 3 of us for a little while.
Yeah.
And then we did some special episodes.
Yeah, we did a few special episodes. We had like Sarah on. Then we finally got Kelvin involved.
Kelvin finally got involved, and then we did Sports Squad for a little while.
I think Kelvin was episode 7, wasn't it?
That was the draft. That was like the precursor to Sports Squad. We talked about drafts. I think that was like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Because we did, I think education was 4.
Which I wasn't a part of.
Of.
Didn't you do one with like a bunch of stand-ups too?
One stand-up and my one friend who wanted to start his own podcast. So he was like, hey, can I sit in on one? I was like, yeah, but we're doing it about comedy, so you could just sit in and watch what we do. And he's like, no, I want to talk about it too. And I was like,
you're not going to have any first-hand experience.
Yeah. So I was supposed to have 2 comedians on that. Well, I should say. But one put an Anchovio, and he texted me the day off. He's like, oh, by the way, I can't make it. I was like, you told me 2 days ago you could, and I planned for this for 2 days. 2 whole days. Planning to not know the episode number.
Kelvin has done at least one open mic that I know of. So he now has stand-up experience. So you can do this again.
I think he's done 2 that I've been at. And one was a surprise, because there was one comedian left. And the host got up, and he's like, so we got 2 comedians left. I'm looking around. I'm like, no, we don't. There's only 1. And then Kelvin got up. And I was like, oh, Kelvin's going up. Yes, he does have more stand-up experience now.
Way to go, Kelvin.
Yay, Kelvin.
We're very proud of you. You're much braver than I am.
I actually I did an open mic last night.
Mm-hmm.
Ran into 2 people. They're a couple visiting their family.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the one guy got a job here now, but he grew up here.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a theater teacher, and his girlfriend, wife person, was a dance teacher. And we talked for 2 hours after the mic, just about everything. At first, he was like, oh, I give you guys so much praise for getting up there and trying to make people laugh. He's like, I do plays, and I get my high schoolers up there to do plays, and, the stuff's already written. We just got to find the timing and stuff. Like, but you guys, go up, and to get a laugh consistently, that's a hard reaction to get. And then we talked about theater. We talked about dance for a little while. We just talked about Maryland driving and how bad it is for a little while.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
Maryland, good roads, shit drivers. Whereas Pennsylvania's shit roads, asshole drivers. And Virginia's just great roads. Angry drivers.
Yeah,
that's my experience.
But yeah, and then I looked at the mic got over around 10ish, and then we were chatting it up a little bit, and then all of a sudden checked my phone. It was like 11:45, and I was like, "Holy shit!" Like, I was like, "We've been like in deep conversation this entire time. There was no like awkward like, oh well, that was nice talking to you, but we're stuck in a bar now, so we'll just sit here awkwardly." It was like, oh, and then I was like, "Oh, I should probably leave because I'm half an hour away." And I've had a few in a big city, so in closest city, undisclosed location, even though we
Baltimore, Ohio.
Alright. So, I guess we'll get into it now. That's a nice little cold open. Grievances.
Oh man. Where do I start?
I was gonna see if you wanted me to do my Snapchat grievance.
Oh,
first.
another Snapchat grievance?
Oh, we've been doing Snapchat.
Is this Snapchat grievance like number 976 in our some 40 episode podcast?
Yeah.
Where we've only been doing the grievances for like 15 episodes? Alright.
That math doesn't add up.
Continue your Snapchat grievances. That's truly the strongest streak in Sqwadcast history. Shitting all over Snapchat. Yeah. They're trying, Tim. God damn it, they're trying. They had one good idea and they're just trying to find the next one. I don't care if it's let's stalk you or let's help other people stalk you. Or what if everything is advertisements? But please, continue.
We need... Oh my god. I think the biggest thing is, as of late, I'll get a Snapchat notification, and I click it, and then I put in my password, and it won't load, and my screen will go dark again. Now, originally, I thought this was my phone and not Snapchat, because my phone's not in the best shape. However, every other app opens right away. So if it's a text or an email,
have
or
you
if
tried
it's...
uninstalling and reinstalling the app?
I have a feeling if I do that, I'll no longer have grievances against Snapchat.
Okay, good. You got to keep it as is. That way you've got fresh material for every new episode of Sqwadcast from now to 2025, when Snapchat is eventually bought out by Instagram. Also, I see the purple line on your screen.
Yeah,
Ooh.
There's a purple line on my screen.
That's fun.
It happened like a month-ish ago. And it showed up for a little bit, and then it went away, and then it came back, and then just never went away again. And now I'm so used to it, and now people are like, what's a purple line on your phone? I'm like, oh yeah, I have a purple line on my phone.
It's a design decision. Yeah. It's for Purple Fridays. I just don't know how to turn it off anymore.
It's for, my phone wanted to try something new, you know? Get that little purple streak.
It's got its little dye done.
Yeah.
Got that little purple streak in its hair now.
Didn't want to commit all the way, you know? Just wanted to see how it felt first. Yeah, that's my Snapchat grievance. And my actual grievance is when people misunderstand something, but then act on that misunderstanding before clarifying about it.
Okay.
And this happened to me yesterday. I got my hair cut at a big... I don't go to a barber shop.
You go to a large chain...
Yes.
Hair cuttery, if you will.
Yes. Where the clips are great. And sometimes there are sports with those clips. But anyway, so I went to Great Clips. Mainly because I usually go to a Sports Clips.
Sports Clips is better.
It is, but so here's my plan last night. I was doing laundry. And
exciting.
Yes. This is how I live my life, laundry and then open mics.
Gotta have clean clothes.
Yeah. So I had laundry in, and there was 20 minutes left in the cycle. So I checked Sports Clips, because you could check it online. Mm-hmm. and it said 15-minute wait. And I was like, all right, I'll give it to the 20 minutes, and then I'll check in and go, because I didn't want to leave that extra 5 minutes where my laundry just sitting, even though it's in my own apartment now that I could just switch it when I get back. But I was like, if it's running while I'm there, and
that's just the most efficient.
Yes.
You don't have to wait for fucking anything except for the first 5 minutes of waiting.
Makes sense if you don't think about it.
Okay. The other thing, moving on. You tried to go to Sport Clips.
So I refreshed the waiting time to check in, and it ended up being 35 minutes. So
you blew it.
I did.
You blew it.
So I realized there was a Great Clips on the same road as my residence. So I checked that online, and it said it was a 10-minute wait. And I was like, obviously I'm going to do that. So I checked in, and I go in, and I've never been to this location before. Mm-hmm. I've been to a few back home, but that was years ago now. And she asked, I came in, and I was like, I checked in online. She's like, have you been here before? And I was like, no. I was like, but I've been to Sports Clips a few times. And she goes, but this is Great Clips. And I was like, that's why I said no to your question. I was like, just trying to make small talk. I didn't mean I've been here before. And like...
But Sports Clips are sports. And we're great.
Yeah. And she was like snippy with me. She was like... well, this is Great Clips. Have you been here before? Not anywhere else. And I was like, no, I said that. Like, so. And it's happened a few times. People, like, jump on the assumption of what they think happened instead of clarifying. And I'm just like, that's not what I said, though. Like, now we have to backtrack the conversation to get back to where we needed to be.
Oh, boy.
Our former editor was a big
doer of that.
Yeah, big doer of that. But yeah, it's just miscommunication, I guess, because I also had an incident with a text where I have a comedy show after this recording. And one of my friends is coming out, and I texted her a few days ago, and I said she asked me if I was nervous for the show. Mm-hmm. I said I'm still working on like my new material, but I'm doing an open mic like as a dress rehearsal the night before. And she goes, sorry, I can't make it. And I was like, to what? And she goes, oh, to the open mic. I was like, I didn't invite you?
You weren't invited.
Yeah, and I was like,
I don't want you there.
And I was like, you're also coming to the actual show where like I'm doing the same jokes, so like I'd rather have you not come so the jokes aren't ruined. Because you'd be seeing them 2 nights in a row. But like she said, I was like, what do you mean like you can't come? She's like, oh yeah, I can't make it out. I closed that night, but I'll be at the show. I was like, that's all I wanted. Like, you're a very sweet person, and normally I would invite you out, but I did not say, can you make it, or do you want to come out?
Right. That is a bit presumptuous, but that's more like a maybe he wants me to come out that way. I'm just gonna say it now. Like, no, I don't know. That's just one of those weird things that fucking everybody does. It's a petty
grievance.
Like,
it's a petty. It happens more often. Maybe I'm just bad with words. But yeah.
Well, here's a funny thing, I guess, for my grievance is just. So, just as backstory, listeners, I've worked many different jobs. Not many, but like several different job styles in different industries. So I've worked in a private medical office. I've worked in an emergency room. I've worked in various bars and restaurants, and now I work in a grocery store. I know, I live that glamorous life. And just one of the really funny things is that no matter what, people kind of find a way to be stupid at you, no matter where you go or what you do. Like, I'm just trying to think, like, this one particular time at the grocery store I work at now, it's an organic market, possibly made or named for someone's mom.
Owned by maternal units.
Indeed, but it's actually not. It was made by some dude named Scott. It's so stupid. It's a great group to work for. One of the best employers in the state. But just the way people are there is really fucking weird. They're so like the crazy paranoid people are the worst at grocery stores because they're like, oh, their fucking receipt prints out and they look at you like they're terrified. Like, why is he shooting paper at me? And then, like, I'll pull the receipt out, fold it up so it's not so long, and they can fit it in their pocket or a little pocket in their purse or whatever, and I hand it to them, and they'll recoil away from me. Like, you shouldn't be touching those things. But it's a receipt. Those papers, those are toxic, and you shouldn't touch them, and I don't want to touch them. You should wash your hands when you touch those.
Toxic papers.
Like, so here's a funny thing is from the there was a very prominent kind of receipt paper that was around in like the early 2000s to mid 2000s that actually would leave like funky residue on your hands.
Oh.
And like if you like licked your fingers afterward, you might get sick. If you like bought 10 different receipt things a day and then you were like and just like licked your fingers after handling every receipt that you handled on the busiest shopping day of your life.
That sound that you heard
was me twiddling my fingers around in an attempt to pantomime crumbling up a receipt and then licking my fingers like a lunatic in front of a person I'm still trying to convince that I'm sane. He knows better though.
Yeah. Part of me like wants the visual, but part of me doesn't. Just for that. Just for instances like this, where we explain the visual what's happening. When there's like 3 seconds of awkward silence, and then someone goes, "Don't give me that look," and then we have to explain the look.
But the thing is, like, you've probably seen the phrase like BPA free on like receipt paper at some point. That's that shit.
I've seen a lot of receipts
in
my day.
They pretty much all of those papers say BPA free now. And now the newest one is BSA. It's I don't even know what the hell either of them stand for, but like if people are always going to be scared of dumb shit, it makes no sense. And like I'm running out of patience for dealing with that. So like these people like like don't hand me that. Don't hand me your written poison. Like, Jesus Christ, people, calm down. It's BPA and BSA free. Like, oh, and then she like snatches it out of my hand, throws it in her purse like it's gonna fucking explode, and then like takes 5 pumps off of the complimentary hand sanitizer. Like.
I'm not going to explain that. I want that to be in the imagination.
That hurt more than it should have. But goddamn it, I'm dedicated to the bit.
Like that scene in SpongeBob where Patrick, they're getting the band together, trying to make a band. Patrick bangs his belly.
No.
Oh, you don't know that part?
I never watched SpongeBob growing up.
What?
Yeah, man. As the youngest child, I had to watch whatever my older brothers were watching, and they were assholes. And they were boring. They were like, let's watch The Simpsons, which was great for the first 13 years, and then,
and
after that, stopped being great. Like, I don't understand that people still watch it. Like,
I don't know how it's still on.
It shouldn't be, but I guess advertisers will pay a lot of money to advertise during The Simpsons.
Oh, yeah. It's still probably big, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well. So, I guess that's my thing.
So,
it's like people being like just irrational fears of really mundane shit. Like, I guess that's my grievance. Because I like to attack the airing of the grievances that we have, like, backwards. Is like I try to figure out exactly what it is that's irritating me and then name it at the end of the segment. Oh. Yeah. All right.
So, main topic, I guess. is originally it was going to be 180 opinion, something we have changed 180 on. But we have, during our pre-production meeting, decided that it might not be a full 180. Maybe you just have a slight, maybe a 90-degree turn on an opinion, or a disappearance of said opinion.
Yeah. So the idea in that, when we were talking, was, so, your 180 is you have a strong opinion about something, and then your mind changes and you lean the other way. Like, I used to be a crazy Republican. Now I'm a crazy Democrat. Like, something like that. Or, I used to be about this, now I'm not. Like, so, what's a 90-degree turn is, I don't give a shit about it one way or the other anymore. This doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
Like, I like that as an idea. Is what's something we care way too much about, or we used to care way too much about, and now we don't. Or maybe we should care about more, but we just don't. We don't have time or energy for that shit.
We'll see where this leads. Maybe it gets controversial, heated.
All right.
I don't know. Well, I'll start off with the easy one that inspired this topic, and is that college athletes should be paid. If you listen to the Sports Squad episode that me and Calvin did, where we tried to fix the NCAA, we get, I think, 45 minutes of that hour and 15-minute episode is us explaining why athletes should be paid. We had a few other reasons of how to fix NCAA, but that was the biggest one. I think it just, when I was in high school, I didn't think they needed to. I thought every athlete got a full ride. So they weren't paying tuition and free room and board and free food, and I just thought, all I had to do was go to all the practices and not fuck up. And then I realized that is not nearly the case when a football team has 96 people on the roster. Not all of them are getting free rides or partial scholarships. And then I realized how much the NCAA money? NCAA,
how much money the NCAA makes.
Yes, words. So it's just a ton. We did the math when Kelvin went to a Michigan game last football season, and he paid $86 for his ticket, and Michigan seats 101,000 roughly, which leads to slightly over $9 million.
Right.
And that's just from ticket sales for one game. And they don't have enough money to distribute to the people you are paying to see.
Yeah.
Like, that was my biggest argument, and I bring that up all the time, especially on Reddit. And I'm just like, look at the numbers and look at the difference that the NCAA is making. And I did some research, and some schools don't make as much money. I won't get into how to fix the NCAA again. But my opinion has switched. I was like, if I have to choose between paying and not paying college athletes, I'm going to go with, let's figure out a way to pay them. Versus, we just shouldn't pay them.
They're risking their bodies and their future livelihoods.
Yeah.
And I'd say a good 3/4 of those guys aren't getting full free rides. So they have to find a way to get food and to just pay for everything. And, not everybody's family can afford going to fucking Ohio State. Another one of those giant football stadiums seats something like 112,000 people.
Something like that, yeah. I think Penn State actually has the biggest. They seat around 112.
I thought they were 118.
Maybe they are 118. They're north of 110. I know that.
Yeah, they're huge.
Yeah.
That's a shitload of people.
That is.
And Ohio State is always like, every year since I think I ever started following football, like for real, in like 2005, like every year I've just kind of listened, kind of side, but like just kind of half paid attention to NCAA. And every year since 2005, it's always been like, so is Ohio State going to win the national championship this year? Maybe. Like, they're always a contender. And they've got one of the biggest stadiums ever. Like, seats, well, maybe 110 to 112, like we were saying.
Yeah.
And it probably is about $90 a ticket. So that's even more money than Michigan.
And Kelvin sat in like the nosebleeds. He was in the top section. He wasn't at the very top, but it's on the cheaper end of the tickets. You're not gonna get like fifth row on the 50-yard line for $86.
Yeah.
Like average price is probably closer to like $150.
Or if it's like hockey pricing, it's like, oh, it's $20 to be behind the goaltender in the nosebleed with your back against the wall, or $500 to have ice level center ice seats in the 18th row. Like, that's like, you gotta imagine college isn't that cheap. But like, that's a fucking insane amount of money.
Yeah,
that the NCAA is bringing in, and none of it is going to the athletes actually, putting their livelihoods and bodies on the line for literally no money, but to get an education that they don't really want, but it's the only gateway to their desired career. And they have to pay, on average, I'm going off of, when I looked at Towson, it was something like $10,000 a semester for a full load of classes. And then another $10,000 in state for just room and board. So
stuff, yeah.
$20,000 for a semester, and then so that's $40,000 a year times 4 is $160,000. Just very lazy math.
I'm thinking of the John Mulaney skit from when he went to college. He's like, $120,000, and they sent me a card asking for more. After I left.
But just like, think about that for a minute. You have to pay like upwards of $120,000 to be allowed to get a job that you want before you ever even have the opportunity to get a good job.
Yep.
Like, that's fucking weird.
Yep.
See, this is another 9-degree turn of something I kind of didn't give a shit about, and now I'm giving a shit about it. No, but that's just one of those big things. Is these guys are paying at like Ohio State, their tuition's ridiculous. It's like $30,000 a semester. So these guys are paying over $250,000 just to have a shot at playing in the NFL. $250,000.
Well, that's if they go all 4 years.
If
most
they
of
go
these
all 4 years, yes.
Go 1 or 2. And then they apply to the draft, and and if they're a star, they probably have a scholarship. But still, they don't have a lot of freedom either. That's the thing. They can't sign their own name. Like, a person can come up with memorabilia they already have and ask a player for a signature, and then people will be like, "Hey, here's $5. Can I get your signature?" They can't do that. They can't get an autograph. Yeah, because it's making money off the NCAA. And I think that, like, if you took a helmet from a game and the coaches / people didn't know, I think that's a little different than someone coming up to you after a game and you're just signing your own name. Yeah. Like, I think there's not a lot of freedom outside. You're basically there to play 1, maybe 2 sports, and that's it. Because some do football and then baseball in the spring. But
I know a guy who was actually playing football and basketball at West Virginia State.
West Virginia State.
Yeah, not the most prestigious.
Yeah.
But I went to high school with him. He was like, "Oh, I'm going to West Virginia." I was like, "You're going to be in the Mountaineers?" And he's like, No, the other one. I was like, They have other colleges in West Virginia?
When I was in high school looking at colleges, my guidance counselor pulled out all, like, the Mid-Atlantic colleges, because I went to high school in New Jersey, and he, like, pulled them out. He's like, "So do you want to go, like, far away?" I'm like, "Well, not too far away." I was like, "I don't want to go to, like, California or Florida. Like, that's a little too far for me." He's like, "All right, like, let's look." And he goes through New Jersey and Pennsylvania and Maryland, and he looks at Delaware. He goes, "So you can apply to Delaware. That's a good college." He's like, "Don't apply anywhere else in Delaware." He was like, don't even consider the other colleges in Delaware. I'm like, oh, high school guidance counselor just trashing the colleges.
Yeah.
Like, Delaware's a good school, University of Delaware.
I have a fucking story about Delaware. Like that school. Like
university.
The layout. Have you been out that
I've never
way?
been on campus, no.
Oh, it's so weird, man. Like, so I was going out to Chesapeake City, Maryland for an airsoft game. Mm-hmm. And it was like 7 a.m. So my one friend's like, dude, the Holiday Inn has like a special actually partnering with the people who are putting the game on. And they're like, so it's like $50 for a night. And we were like, okay, we'll fucking do that. Yeah. So we did that, and we went up to the Holiday Inn in, was it Dover, Delaware?
Where university? I thought university was near Wilmington.
That might be it. I can't remember. It might be
I mean, those are the only 2 cities in Delaware, so.
It's true. Everything else is just disappointing beachfront and just woods.
And Newark, not Newark.
Ugh.
There's Newark, New Jersey, and Newark, Delaware.
Gross.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you're right, it might be Wilmington. But it was in Wilmington where the university is. And the funny thing about driving in there is, like, you hit the state line, you go into Delaware, and there's just fucking nothing. And you're just rolling in for, like, 10 minutes, and then all of a sudden just a bunch of buildings pop up. Like, really unnecessarily, like, bulky, fancy, like, weird-looking buildings. And then you're like, oh, shit. This is the entire University of Delaware. Like, there's the football field, there's the basketball stadium, there's the student union, there's that's all the dorms and shit. Like, literally all along this one road. And then that road continues, and you're just right in the middle of the entire town. It's just all along this one fucking road. And I just was like, this is weird. Like, it feels like the entire town is just pressed up on this one road because that's the only road people are going to drive through. And then I was like, this is, like, I don't know, I can't remember exactly the train of logic that brought me to this exact, like, phrase, but I'm like, this is like fucking North Korea or some shit. Like, it's just all ramshackle and just built up and, like, pushed up right onto the road so that you can just see everything and not get out of the car. Like, just stay exactly where you are. Like, okay. Like, and what's really weird is all the people were, like, super nice. I had some of the best food I've ever had in my life in that town. Iron Hill Tavern. Amazing. But, like, it's just, like, when you're in the university, it's just piled up right on the road. I started calling it the Delaware Motorized Zone, the DMZ, and just like it was almost upsetting how tight in that whole school is, like right on the road like that. Like, why is this happening? Like, and what's really funny is like their football field is so small. Like, they don't even have like a bowl around it. Like, you can just see the field from the road.
Sounds about right.
They just have like high bleachers on both sides.
They're on double A.
Yeah. They've just got high bleachers on both sides. They don't even have any bleachers. So
it's a high school field?
Pretty much. Like, it's a Texas high school field.
I remember I played a Cronum tournament up in Shippensburg. And the field, we played just on a field. It wasn't like a Cronum field or an athletic field. It was a legit just open field that we were playing on. Like, with the lines painted on ourselves and more cows watching us than people. Like,
there's another break in play. Unfortunately, a goat seems to have wandered onto the field of play. Does not want to move.
Get back in that, goat. You're out of position.
The players are currently debating whether they can draft a goat onto their team or not, and if it's fair, then they should get a second goat. Now they're attempting to hold a goat draft. That's it. We're inventing goat Cronum.
Goat Cronum?
Which definitely sounds like a sex thing.
I'm gonna text my friend who I play Cronum with once this episode is up. I was like, listen to this episode for the one line at the 35-minute mark.
Oh my god.
Actually, I won't tell. I'll just be like, listen to it. I'm not going to tell you when it is, so you have to listen to the whole thing.
Oh my god.
Goat Cronum.
But yeah, it's just like That was my Delaware experience. Was like, okay, you don't even need to get out of the car. This is everything you need to see. Cool, just go that way for food. Okay, can do.
I was in Delaware actually around this time last year. I think it was Black Friday. My ex her family lives Maryland side, but like basically Delaware. Like in Maryland.
Yeah.
But Delaware. And she was like, oh, you never been to like the Delaware bars? I was like, why would I have gone to the Delaware bars? Like, grew up in New Jersey, went to college in Maryland. Like,
I will say, I already dropped their name, Iron Hill. They brew all their own beers and everything. They've got like, so they're like a brew house, tavern, and grill. They have amazing beers. Like, I had a Belgian triple there that was like one of the best beers I've ever had in my life. And their pizzas are awesome. And then their pretzel sticks are just, I still dream about those pretzel sticks 2 years later. Oh, they were so good.
Yeah. Nothing against like going there. It just,
it's just America's Little Korea.
Yeah.
Without any Koreans, now that I think about it. There were like none.
Okay. But yeah, we went and she was like, oh, like I'll show you like the nightlife and all the bars like we would hit when we come back home and visit and all this stuff. And it was like a third of the people were in there of like max capacity. And I was just like, this would be really fun if we weren't here on a holiday weekend when all the kids went home. Like, I appreciate the sentiment and we should probably come back in like a week or two so I can get the experience. But like, we went to 3 different bars and all 3 of them were just like, oh, there's like 20 people here. And then the one bar let you in for free if you had a student ID. And luckily I still had mine. Different school, but they're just like, any college ID will work.
So here's the funny thing about that to me. Is college students, about 75% of them are underage.
Yep.
But the bars will let you in for free if you have a college ID.
But you need your actual ID to
I know, but it's still so like... It's just begging to get hit with fakes, you know?
Oh, well,
like,
yeah. I mean, it's a college.
Yeah, it's just funny to me. It's just funny to me about that.
Were you here on the episode I told you about? No, I don't think it was. I think it was me and Anchovio. About the stupid rules. Or have you listened to that episode yet? Just speaking of IDs.
Which one was it? Was it
when
32-ish?
Yeah. I mean, it was since Anchovio's been on, so...
32? I think
we talked about just workplace rules and stuff and like rules we didn't.
I've got one for that. My grocery store has a freight elevator that I'm not allowed to ride. It's a stupid rule. There.
Okay.
I've now contributed to a podcast that happened months ago.
Yeah. No, it was my high school required us to bring our IDs into lunch, and we had a little colored dot representing what lunch period we were in. So you had to show your ID, and they saw what period you were in the right lunch period.
I actually went to the wrong lunch period one time in high school. I was like, oh shit, I'm 30 minutes late for Algebra 2. No! And then I got there and I was like, I'm sorry, I was in the bathroom for half an hour. My bad.
I feel like that makes it better though. Like if you say I was in the bathroom for half an hour, they're not going to ask more questions after that.
Yeah, but you're also saying that in front of 30 other people. And in my high school, there would be 4 or 5 dudes in every class. They'd be like, what took you half an hour?
Shut the fuck up.
Well, there was poop coming out of my butthole. And it didn't go fast.
It was going too fast.
Too furious.
Tokyo Drip.
So were you laughing before you thought of it, or were you laughing because you thought
Because
of it? Okay.
That's
unreasonably funny. God damn it, Tim. How dare you make a good joke for once. Oh.
A friend of a friend once said she liked that I would always laugh before a joke. Like, not on stage or like, but like in a social situation. Sometimes I would start laughing to myself and then say the joke. And she had a boyfriend of 2+ years. But she was just like, you're cheesing all the time. It's so cute. And I was like, oh, thanks.
Cheesing?
Yeah, like laughing and smiling to myself before actually saying the joke because I thought it was so funny.
Yeah, I've just never heard it called that.
Oh, well, yeah. Fun fact, in wrestling, it's called corpsing when you laugh and break character during a serious moment. Or a moment you're not supposed to laugh.
That's hilarious. Corpsing.
Yep. So, yeah. But anyway, back to my high school ID story. One time, I literally showed the back of my ID, which is just plain white. And I showed it to the teacher, and she let me in. And I was just like, why? Okay. Like,
clearly the teacher also doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
The rule was put in place by someone who actually cares way too much.
Yeah. I was like, even if I skip and go to a different lunch period, I'm going to be marked absent in the class I'm supposed to be in. Like, so they're going to see.
Are they trying to keep you from buying 2 meals? And giving
I don't
them
know.
money for food?
I don't know, but we used to be able to get double lunch. Like, you could ask for 2 entrees.
I remember one time there was some contractor working on my house, and I had the 7th period off. In my senior year, I just didn't take anything for 7th period, so I would just leave and go home like an hour early. It was the fucking best. And I remember one day there was a contractor working on my house, and I was just like, I don't want to go home and deal with all the drilling and sawing and annoying bullshit. So I went to one of the other we had a second cafeteria that was just vending machines and tables, and
Okay.
And it was unreasonably popular, that place. Like, you couldn't get hot food there, but it was full every day during the lunch hours.
Huh.
But I just went over there during the 7th period. I'm like, is this locked? Nope. Cool. So I just chilled in there until like an hour after school ended. And I was just like, I've got a couple bags of chips. I've got my iPod. Very, very indicative of the time this was happening.
Yeah, I was just saying.
It's like, do. Got my headphones in, listening to some rock or metal or whatever the fuck it was I was listening to that week. And it's like, fucked around for the longest time. Just was like, I'm just going to chill here. And like a teacher came in at one point, and he was like, shouldn't you be in class? And I was like, shouldn't you?
And then he just backs away without breaking eye contact. And you don't speak of it ever again.
Well, we didn't ever see each other ever again. I don't know who that teacher was, but they were definitely a teacher. They were walking around with like binders and shit. But I don't know what the deal was or why they were there in 7th period. But
I me and my friend skipped a pep rally my junior year.
Oh man, I don't think I ever actually like stayed more than 5 minutes into a pep rally.
Yeah. Well, I was in the band, so I had to be at the pep rallies.
Oh no, they were like, pep rallies mandatory attendance. Your teachers will take attendance for
attendance at a
period.
pep rally.
Like you're supposed to go to your classroom. Your teacher will take attendance, and then they will march you out to the football field.
So after attendance, you're just like, nope. Just
pretty much. Like, I would wait for the mob at the gate to get into the shitty bleachers at the one end of our football field, and then I would just be like, all right, attendance taken, down the hill. I'm out. Fortunately, I lived like a block away from my high school, so...
Well, I live walking distance from my high school, too, so...
You live walking distance from my high school right now.
But I didn't go to your high school.
Correct. With your weird New Jersey ways.
Of going to high school?
Of not being near here.
Oh, yes.
How dare you?
I know. How dare my parents not live in this location by your high school. I should have told them when I was growing up. One day, a guy I haven't met yet will get on me during a podcast that I created because you didn't live near his high school.
I would love to be a fly on the wall in that room. Just, I'd like to see like a 6-year-old like you talk to your parents.
Me.
Like, we should live in Maryland because this guy I know when I'm 25? 6? Okay. 26. This guy I know when I'm 26 is going to give me shit for not having lived near him my entire life. What do I do, Mom and Dad? Well, let's pack a bag for you and take you to the mental hospital there, Timmy. That would be fun.
But yeah, I basically did the same thing in pep rallies. They were like, we had different classes that had different corners of the gym, and the band was in there.
Ooh, in the gym.
Yeah,
look at you
gym.
with your fancy gym pep rallies.
Yeah.
We had to do ours outside. We did one inside because it was raining, but like the skipping problem was even worse because like people were like, I have to go to the bathroom and just never come back. And it was really funny because like an entire row of students got up at one point and the teacher was like, what's going on here? Like, we all have to go to the bathroom. Like, can you go 2 at a time? Sure. First 2 people in the row get up, walk down. Oh, those were both girls. Can 2 guys go? Sure. They just don't come back after 10 minutes. And the teacher's like, I'm going to go look for them. And then the rest of the row gets up and walks out. It was great. I loved that. That was freshman year was the only year I actually stayed for the whole pep rally because I just wanted to see what the whole deal was. Yeah. And I was like, okay, so there's the football players and the cheerleaders are having a cartwheeling competition, and the marching band keeps having people fall over, which is the funniest thing in the world. That guy was actually playing the tuba and was trying to hit a note while falling over. So it was like, whoa. Man, they didn't do any fucking work on that field at all. So if a field goal kicker took a chunk of earth out, it was gone forever.
That's basically what every pep rally we did fall and winter, but we never did a spring pep rally. And then my junior year, they're like, hey, how about we do a spring rally? Appreciate the spring sports. And
then people were like, soccer.
Soccer,
tennis,
both fall sports.
Shut up! Don't talk to me right now.
Golf.
Golf.
That was a spring sport. Yeah.
Okay. What the fuck?
Because we didn't have lacrosse in New Jersey.
Oh, right. Because like Maryland's fucking weird with the fucking lacrosse. Like, what is it with fucking Maryland and fucking stickball? Like, I don't get it. Like, you carry the thing around in a net, but you have to be, like, waving it around like a moron. And then, like, it's, like, all the rules are the opposite of hockey. You have to keep it over your head. You can't hit people with your body. You have to hit them with the stick. Like, no, in hockey, you keep the puck on the fucking ice, and then you hit people with your body, not your stick. Like, it's just literally the exact opposite. I don't understand it.
And Maryland loves it.
Maryland fucking loves it.
I think it was 2 years ago. It was like 4 out of the top 10 lacrosse colleges were all Maryland colleges.
Yeah, it was like University of Maryland and Johns Hopkins and
Towson.
Towson was in the top 10?
Yeah, and Loyola.
Loyola.
Yeah, none of those will... If you're like listening in Kansas right now, you're like, what are they talking about? Which
I'm sure Kansas has like 2 or 3 Loyolas in there. Loyolas are all over the fucking place.
They are. Loyola Chicago last year in the basketball tournament.
St. Ignatius Loyola had a really big head and needed to make sure that there was a thing named after him in every place he went. And then they sainted him for it.
Yep.
Because he was like, hey, kids, 2 + 2 is 4. Name shit after me. All right, thanks.
That guy's amazing.
Shit, this changes everything!
Alright, well, we're in the question phase, even though we only answered one opinion. We went 180 on.
Tangent cast.
So we have a question. My one question was, because I don't know if I told you, but our one episode got corrupted. I don't know if I told you that story.
Which episode?
The fashion one.
Which one was that?
The one where we didn't talk about fashion the entire time and instead talked about the Montreal screw job.
Oh no, I loved that episode.
That was a great episode. I tried with the special agents at Mercer Center to save it. And I didn't close it out, and I went in and I was like, they're like, have you tried restarting the program? And I'm like, no, don't do that. Like, it hasn't saved. I had trouble saving it. That's the problem. Just help me save it. And they're like, oh, we can't do anything. Like, and I was like, no, this is one of the best episodes ever.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. So the question that happened on that episode, which is now happening now, is what is something you wanted to talk about but we haven't done a topic on and you don't think it'll ever come up? Just a random little anecdote or fact.
I feel like I've been derailing this entire podcast with random anecdotes.
I mean, true. We ended up just talking about college and high school for most of the time. But I have a story about
a 90-degree turn into high school.
Yep.
Bam! Episode day. You keep putting your bottle cap on Peter's head. Yep. Is that like a thing?
It is now.
Okay. Well, that's the great question.
Well, speaking of Peter, I have a story about my first penguin.
Cover your ears, Peter.
Earmuffs. It's cold in Antarctica. You need earmuffs. No, my first penguin, I was at the aquarium. Mm-hmm. And I stole a penguin. End of story.
Like a live penguin?
Yeah, just... You're mine now.
Those little bastards are fast.
They are. No, it was a stuffed penguin. Like a stuffed animal, not a actual penguin that got stuffed. Like,
man, you're just making this like less fun for every qualifying statement that you make. Like, no, it wasn't a live penguin. No, it wasn't a dead penguin either. It was a fake penguin. The next thing you're going to tell me is that you actually paid for it.
Yeah.
God damn it, Tim.
Well, there's a story behind it, okay?
You saw a penguin that you wanted, and then you paid for it.
No, see, there's more to the story. That's what you get for interrupting. So, I was in the gift shop, found a $10 bill on the floor. And I was a kid. I was like 9 or 10 at the time.
So it was divine providence.
Yes, it was. And I found there was a penguin that was exactly $10. And I was like, oh, hey, Mom, just found this $10 bill on the floor. And she's like, how about you get the penguin? That's exactly $10. So I was trying to name it because that's what you do with stuffed animals when you're 9 and also 26. To be fair, I was 22 when I got Peter.
Oh, that's gold. I love that so much more than I even reasonably should.
But I didn't know what to name the penguin, so being a little kid, I was like, it has to rhyme with Tim, because that's cool. So I started with A, and realized that doesn't rhyme with Tim.
Aim?
Well, you see, I was so young, I didn't realize aim was a word. So I was saying AM because Tim and trying to rhyme it, and I was like, that doesn't work. So I went to B, got Bim, and I was like, that works. Bim the penguin.
Bim and Tim.
Yep. And then my mom would always refer to penguins as Bims. To this day, she still does.
Oh my God.
There'll be an article about penguins or something, and she'll text it to me and be like, look at all the Bims. So I'm just like, oh,
Bim was the name of one fake penguin that I didn't steal.
No, that I didn't steal.
You just stole the money for it.
Yes, I did. I stole the money. I could have been a good Samaritan. Went to the cashier and been like, hey.
You were a regular Samaritan.
Yup. Don't act like you want to do that either. If you found $10 on the floor of the aquarium.
I would wonder, had the money been in the water? Oh, have you been down there lately? You can, like, touch jellyfish.
Not to the Baltimore one.
Oh, so not to any good ones then.
Well, the one I went to was in Camden, so yeah.
Like Camden Yards or Camden, New Jersey?
Camden, New Jersey.
Did you get shot?
I did not.
It's not an authentic Camden experience, so I'm told by native New Jerseyans.
See, on the way back from the aquarium, I had the penguin in front of me, and the bullet got stuck in the penguin.
Oh my god, that guy lost his shit. He was like, "You went to Camden?" Like, whoa!
Yeah.
Like, Jesus, it was fine. It smelled a lot like weed, but it was fine.
There are certain parts you can venture into, like concerts, and what used to be the River Sharks.
Concert, the BB&T Pavilion is across the street from the fucking Supermax. Like the fucking 20-foot high fences with barbed wire.
Yep. That's Camden. The fact that you could see that from the minor league baseball stadium.
The River Sharks.
Who now play in Rhode Island.
We don't have sharks in Rhode Island.
They don't have river sharks anywhere. That's not a real animal.
No, but a shark can swim up into a river. There have been many times where bull sharks have been found in rivers. I can't provide a link to this, but I know for a fact it's happened. They pulled a bull shark out of the Mississippi.
We need at least 2 sources. APA format.
APA format. I'll fuck your life up.
Well, my friends had to do Chicago format in high school. She went to the local magnet school.
That sounds like New Jersey. Yeah. Wishing it was Chicago.
Well, we did MLA in my high school. And then college was like APA.
Yeah.
Which makes no sense.
American Psychology Association?
Yeah.
Like, why would that, like...
Yeah, why do citations matter? That's another grievance. I don't have to have an exact format for a citation. The citation matters, so I didn't plagiarize. That makes sense. But I shouldn't be marked off points because I didn't capitalize a letter in my citation. I should be like, here's the link that I found this at. Look at it so you know I didn't plagiarize and that it's a refutable or unrefutable, irrefutable source. Like, I get having citations, I don't get proper sourcing for citations.
Tell you what, this one's going to hit you close to home there, Tim.
Did it eat a penguin?
Site of the New Jersey shark attacks of 1916.
102 years later. Yep, that hits really close to home.
With previous deadly attacks in Beach Haven and Spring Lake, New Jersey, the shark made its way north and down a freshwater creek in Matawan, New Jersey on July 12th, where it would attack and kill a 12-year-old Lester Stillwell and 24-year-old Stanley Fisher within a half hour of each other. That happened in a river in your precious New Jersey. Hence, river sharks. They'll murder 4 people, just like Camden.
And everything makes sense now.
There you go.
Why are they called the river sharks? Because murder.
Because 4 people died in 1916. That's fantastic. Thanks, New Jersey. That's a real respectable homage to a loss of life.
They made the team in the 90s. Or 80s. I think it was the 90s. They're like, hey, remember that thing that happened almost 100 years ago?
80 at the time.
Yeah, I can math. I want to say one more thing, which I think you would find very entertaining.
Penis.
That is entertaining. I discovered a new subreddit today.
Excellent.
And I want to share it with the world.
Oh, good.
Because usually in Ask Reddit threads, questions get recycled all the time.
All the time.
And one of them is, what's the weirdest subreddit out there, or what's an oddly specific subreddit that you didn't think existed? Like, some variation of that. Like, what are some ones you didn't realize?
r/Waluigi.
Yes.
Anytime Sqwadcast spells out Waluigi.
I discovered one today, which I have not in my 2+ years of Redditing, that I didn't know existed, and it gave me a great laugh. And it's called r/Fat Squirrel Hate. People find fat squirrels and hate on them. They'll be like, this fat bastard eating all the feed, or
checking out all the... Definitely misspelled it.
I'll look it up on my history because I went through a lot of it today because it was.
I think I might have found it
because it was so entertaining, or maybe not. I have a lot of Reddit history to go through, so maybe not.
Well, I know it was a parody subreddit to Fat People Hate, which is now quarantined and banned.
That sounds about right.
What was the other one? You said there was a second one?
No.
No? Okay, then I misheard.
Yeah, I did, as always.
Edit it out in post. Make me sound smart, Tim.
I found the thread that it's in, but I can't find... Oh, apparently there's first world problems, and those world problems go all the way up to 7th world problems.
Really? Because I know about 5th world problems.
There is 5th world, and then there's 6th world, and then there's 7th world, where there's no problems. It says, you are safe, you are home, take your medicine, and listen to your machine. There are no problems. And then somebody pulled one from there and said, my daughter told me she now identifies as gender fluid, and I was fine with it. It was getting cold out, so I turned on the heater, and now she's become gender gas and can't return to her liquid form. Any ideas of how I can get her back to normal?
Oh. Oh. Oh my god. I'm done.
There's a fat squirrel hate.
I've got it.
Oh, you had it this entire time. You just made me go through.
No, I had my content filters on because I was at work browsing Reddit the other day and didn't want to get caught accidentally going past, like... I am subscribed to a few subreddits that are just mass tagged NSFW, like Fat Squirrel Hating. And
they're fat squirrels.
Yeah, but it's just like Fat People Hate, where everything has to be NSFW. Because they're just like, let's just be the exact same thing. But for squirrels. Samantha, 19 pounds.
Oh, what's the other subreddit? Bread stapled to trees. Sometimes I forget that exists, and then it pops up, and I'm like, why are you so active?
Oh god, what's the one with the beans?
The one with the beans?
Yeah. Oh god. Oh god.
Sorry, we're just browsing Reddit now. This is hell.
This
is our new ending segment.
It's like things filled with beans.
What's it? Birds with arms?
Birds with arms is a weird subreddit.
Yeah, that's a really weird one. Yes, bread stapled to trees is exactly what you think it is. Yep, people just staple bread to trees. All right, this is great. Browsing Reddit is great. Podcast air, just looking at toasters gone wild. So there's onion hate and or onion lovers, and then the follow-up comment is r/onion nonchalance, and then the follow-up comment to that is, I believe you're looking for onion neutrality. Sometimes I'm just like, Oh, internet.
Well, I can't find the subreddit that's just things full of beans that shouldn't be full of beans, but I got sent to just an album of things filled with beans that shouldn't be full of beans. Like this clock.
That was a swimmer with beans in his goggles.
Lister bean.
What is that? His breast pocket?
Yeah.
Oh.
Slippers.
Why are people the way they are?
Right? Oh,
I told this.
Fucking grapefruit. Now here's a mystery to defy your all logic. It's a fucking light bulb filled with fucking baked beans.
Oh, one of my friends did a joke about pools last night at the open mic, and I'll tell you why I went there. Because I saw kidney beans. Salt and pepper shakers filled with beans.
Toothpaste full of beans. Oh. And they don't need that laptop anymore.
Why? Just why? Why? Stand back, I'll shoot. You won't. What the fuck? God,
Crocs, the beans are coming out of all the holes.
Why is this? Why do it?
Oh.
Just why? Just why?
Alright, I'm not going to hit you with any more of them. Until I find more.
Yeah.
There you go. There's a few.
Trojan beans. Oh, man.
No, that's one bean in the place of every pill in one of those little pop-out pill or gum things.
Oh, I thought they were condoms.
No.
No. I can see. I'm not blind. Banana bean.
Banana bean. And whatever the fuck is going on with this mug, how is there foam over top of all of these beans? There's a layer of foam like it's a head on beer. But it's beans. So confused.
Yeah, just... I think it was last episode or 2 episodes ago, I was talking about subtle ways to mess with people, and I told the story of when I kept sticking my finger in people's back pockets at our previous place of employment.
Oh, man.
That just little things.
And then Lindsay was like, I'm going to try and ruin this for you. Oh, classic.
Bad Lindsay, though, right?
Yeah, bad Lindsay. Spaz Lindsay.
Yeah. What?
Baz Lindsay.
Spaz Lindsay, yes, okay. Yeah.
L-dubs.
L-dubs. In the weeds. Hence the name. That place.
That
was definitely a place we
that
both worked.
definitely existed. For sure.
Part of me wants to go back. And part of me not to work. Just see how they're doing. But at the same time, I'm like, is it worth it?
Oh shit, Dave retired.
I saw that.
Like, how can you afford to retire your bartender in a not great bar?
Well, you see.
Turns out property will always be cheap in Florida.
Yeah. And also, he was there in the beginning.
Yeah. They opened the crate to like start building some of the bar, and he was just in it.
Yep.
And they were like, well, guess he works here now. You're damn right I do.
I didn't work with him much. I mainly worked the night shifts.
Yeah, I worked like... There was a while I was working 4 lunches a week, and I was like, I want to die. And like, so I got to work with him a lot, and then it was just a lot of times I'd work like 3 dinner shifts, 1 lunch shift, and 1 volume in a week, and that was usually pretty normal for me. So I'd see him twice a week. Like, Okay. Like, Dave, he's a great bartender when people he doesn't know are on the bar. Because when people he knows are on the bar, he will talk to them in lieu of making your drinks.
Yep. That's why I always liked it when there was a second bartender on.
Yep. And, of course, with lunch bartending, all the people at the bar, you know because they're regulars. Because they're at a bar at fucking noon on a fucking Wednesday.
Anyway, my brother goes to a bar that opens at 7 in the morning. And they do that on purpose for the overnight shifts that people work.
I mean, I guess that's fair.
And it's also...
People at Waffle House got a drink, too. After what they just saw.
Yeah. It's also, they do a deal where it's $12.75 to buy the entire bar around. No matter how many people are at the bar. It's just $12.75 and everybody gets a beer.
$12.75
Yep.
to get a beer for everyone.
Yep. No matter how many people were there. My brother said he does that all the time.
Huh. Must be like the crappy beer. Like,
again,
whatever the cheapest
I've never
beer
been
they
there
have.
when it happened. But apparently...
He didn't, like, do the thing while you were there to show you?
Well, see, my brother is that type of person who works at...
Funky hours.
Yeah, funky hours. And where Tom Savage dies and leaves his hat. I think that story's been told before. That's not an in-joke. I'm pretty sure we told
Tom Savage's AIDS hat? Yeah, we told that story.
Yeah. So, he'll get off at, like, 2 or 3 in the morning and then, like, go to bed real quick, and then he'll wake up at, like, 7 or 8 and just be like, I don't have to go to work until, like, 6 o'clock. Let me go to the bar that's open at 7 in the morning. With the friends he just worked with. Alright. We went a little over time. I apologize. You're on a schedule.
It's okay. I haven't gotten an angry phone call or text message or anything.
Oh, I thought that's what it just happened.
No, that's other people who I'm trying to get in touch with, and they're finally getting back in touch with me, which is good. But, yeah, great cast.
Yep.
Glad I could completely derail that conversation.
Great cast. That's what I mean. It is what it is.
It is what it is. We shouldn't be saying that.
We shouldn't.
We did a great job, and you should find us hilarious, listeners.
Yeah.
All, hopefully, at least 5 of you. God, we need this to be more than 5 listeners.
Yeah.
I believe in you guys. You can hear us. Please. Please.
My mom was like, so how many viewers do you get per episode? I'm just like,
What is our top right now? Like 35-ish?
Maybe. I'll have to look. Some of the other ones actually have a fair amount. And by that I mean fair by our standards. Not YouTube standards.
8, 10.
No, I think we've cracked 30.
Huh.
Possibly even 40.
That's fine.
Oh. I didn't know what that was for. I was like, oh, that's a loud vibration.
Excuse me. It must have been that bean I had today. All right.
It's been me and Ryan and Peter. And
have you ever said your name in this podcast?
That's a good question. Okay, so I said it during our wrestling one that I just started impromptu last weekend. There were 2 events. So there's NXT, which is like the developmental of WWE, and then there's WWE, and developmental has their own pay-per-views before the big pay-per-views that WWE has.
All right.
So this weekend they're called takeovers. There was an NXT takeover on Saturday and a pay-per-view on Sunday. So on Friday I had a few beers and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do a predictions podcast.
All right.
So I did say my name. I was like, I should probably stop saying it's me and just say my name.
It's been Tim and Ryan. Episode 30-something, 7 or 8, we can't remember offhand. Talking about 90-degree turns, I guess, on opinion.
Yeah.
And especially 90-degree turns on topics, which I am the best at. All right. So, squad out. Are we?
Yes?
Those are questions.
Oh, I thought awkward outros.
Almost as good as awkward intros.
Yep.
All right.
Squad.
Au revoir, Felicia's.
Squad out.
Squad auf Wiedersehen. Goodbye.
Damn it, Ryan.